Hey everyone, we're not here to talk about working harder or logging more hours. This is about something, well, a lot quieter but way more powerful. We're talking about the small, almost invisible choices you make every single day. The ones that separate being good at your job from being the person everyone trusts, the one they rely on, no questions asked. Okay, let's get into it.
Look, we all have goals, right? We want to be better, more efficient, get more respect on the job. But this quote from James Clear absolutely nails it. Goals are just wishes. The thing that really determines your success are your systems, those daily habits you fall back on, especially when you're tired and motivation is nowhere to be found. It's about building a foundation that just automatically catches you.
So to really see what this looks like in the real world, let me tell you a quick story about two technicians. Picture this. They start on the exact same Monday morning. Same company, same truck, same tools, same opportunities. But one tiny choice sets them on two completely different paths for the rest of their careers.
So Technician 1, he takes just a few extra minutes. He actually reads the job notes, all of them. He loads his truck for the entire day, not just the first call. He's already thinking about how to set the right expectations with the customer. Now Technician 2, he's in a rush. He skims the notes, figures he'll just deal with it when he gets there, and kind of hopes for the best. By noon, one of them feels calm, in control. The other guy, he's already behind, feeling pressured and just reacting to problems.
And this is the absolute core of it. The gap that opens up between these two techs has nothing to do with their technical skill or even how hard they're trying. The entire difference is in those small, repeatable choices. It's the system, good or bad, that they fall back on every single morning.
Think about it like this. You've got two planes taking off, but one is pointed just 1% off from the other. After a few minutes, you can't even tell they're going to different places. A month later, they're still kinda close, but you fast forward a year, and they're not even in the same country anymore. That is exactly how your habits work. It's this quiet, gradual shift that leads to a completely different destination.
And that brings us to maybe the most powerful idea from James Clear. He calls habits the compound interest of self-improvement. And it's perfect, right? Just like putting a little money in a savings account, you don't really see the effect at first. It seems pointless. But over time, the growth just explodes. It becomes impossible to ignore.
You know, the San Antonio Spurs, one of the winningest teams in all of sports, they have this quote hanging in their locker room. It's the perfect way to understand how this compound interest of effort actually works, especially on those days when you feel like you're just spinning your wheels and getting nowhere.
So imagine a stonecutter. He's got this huge boulder in front of him and a big hammer, and he just starts swinging. He hits that rock 100 times. So after 100 powerful, dedicated swings, absolutely nothing. Not a scratch, not even a tiny hairline crack. And this is the moment most people give up. They think, this is pointless, my effort is being completely wasted. But then, on the very next swing, the 101st hit, the whole rock splits clean in two. Now think about it. Was it that one final swing that did all the work? Of course not. It was the 100 hits that came before it. All that pressure was being stored up, just waiting for the final push.
And that's the thing you have to remember. When you take that extra minute to prepare, when you take a photo to document your work, when you do a final sweep to clean up your workspace, none of that work is being wasted. It's being stored. Every single time, you're making another hit on that rock. You're building towards a future breakthrough in your reputation, in customer trust, and in your own skill.
Okay, so we know that small habits compound over time. Great, but how in the world do you make them stick? Well, the secret isn't to focus on what you do. It's to decide who you want to be.
This is what we call identity-based habits. The goal isn't just to, say, document better. The real goal is to become the kind of technician who is thorough and professional. And every single action you take is like casting a vote for the type of person you are.
So what do these votes actually look like out in the field? Well, every time you take those before and after photos, you're casting a vote that says, I'm thorough. Every time you do a final tool sweep before you leave, you're casting a vote that says, I'm a professional who finishes the job right. You are literally building the evidence piece by piece for who you are.
But, and this is a really critical warning, compounding doesn't care if you're building something good or something bad. It works just as powerfully in the wrong direction. Skipping one little photo doesn't feel like a big deal. Rushing one explanation to a customer seems harmless. But those small shortcuts, they compound too, just as quietly, into a reputation you don't want.
All right, so let's shift gears from the why to the how. Let's talk about a practical, field-tested playbook you can start using literally today.
This simple idea from the thinker Peter Kaufman explains so much about how people interact. It's all based on this thing called mirrored reciprocity, which is just a fancy way of saying what you put out is almost always what you get back. If you walk into a customer's home calm and respectful, you almost always get cooperation and respect in return.
You don't have to be some super charismatic person, you just need a repeatable system. And this 20-second script is your system for going positive and going first. In 3 simple steps, you're signaling, I'm safe, I'm a pro, and I'm here to help, not to sell you something. It immediately changes the entire dynamic of the call.
You know, a lot of the time when a customer is upset, it's not really about the broken equipment. It's because one of these 5 basic human needs isn't being met. By just running through this mental checklist, like repeating back what they said so they know you listened, or asking permission before you go into a room, you're not just fixing a machine anymore. You're fixing the whole situation.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here. The 1% difference, the stone cutter, casting votes for your identity. So now let's bring it all together into one simple, totally doable action for this week. I want you to ask yourself this one question. What is one tiny thing, just one, that you could improve by just 1%? We're not talking about 10 things. This is not a total life overhaul. Just one small, repeatable action. That's it, just one. Maybe it's committing to that 20-second arrival script on every single call. Maybe it's taking a before and after photo every time, no exceptions. Just choose one thing. Do it every single day this week. Pay attention to it, and let it be another vote for the professional you're becoming.
And you know what? This really is the whole story. Those elite technicians you look up to, they didn't get there in one big jump. They got there by stacking up all these small, correct efforts, day after day after day, until it just became automatic, until it became who they are.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? It's simple. Just focus on the things you can actually control. Go positive and go first with every customer, every dispatcher, every teammate. Be absolutely constant about it. You do that, and you won't have to chase success anymore. Compounding will take over, and I promise you, success will start chasing you.